I would first like to mention the network that is known simply as the network, which is the Masonic intelligence body. Indeed, it is the main intelligence organ of the United Grand Lodge of England and the overall Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, thereby linking British, American, French, and German Masonic orders, and oversees much of the intelligence activities within the actual intelligence agencies of the aforementioned countries. Indeed, this is part of the development of a Rosicrucian originating plot whereby the United States military industrial complex, acting on the orders of Masonic bodies within Europe, would implement a New World Order agenda whereby the world is divided into two separate entities, one of which is the NATO countries dominated militarily by the United States, and the other being China. Indeed, China seems to have a certain amount of control from Berlin and Dachau. Indeed, the German Federal Intelligence, the Bundesnachrichtendienst, has a controlling percentage of the Chinese Communist Party, but the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, the DVD, which has a headquarters in Dachau, although it is a decentralized intelligence network, seems to have an even larger controlling percentage of the Chinese Communist Party. And indeed, many networks of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst control much of the apparatus of the Chinese government and Ministry of State Security and the wider intelligence strata. Indeed, the networks of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst in China combine with British intelligence and the networks of Jardine Matheson, which have always had a place in Chinese society, headed by the Keswick family, which were previously the main progenitors of the opium trade, which caused many problems in China during the Victorian era, but has continued today. Indeed, as I've stated in a previous video, the Western arm of the Intelligence Net Society, which governs the NATO countries, and the Eastern branch of the Intelligence Society, which governs the Chinese Communist Party, wish to divide up the Russian Federation amongst themselves, with the western half of Russia being balkanized and containing a series of NATO client states, and the eastern percentage, east of the Ural Mountains, would be either incorporated into a Greater China or a series of Chinese client states within the sphere of influence of the Chinese Communist Party. Indeed, the idea of the Illuminati networks, indeed the British MI6 and the network uh, conglomerates, and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Hang on, I've lost my lost my footing. The idea would be that these networks of the West would be in a perpetual engagement with the networks of the East, i.e. China, thereby creating a dialectic, which is the masterpiece of Illuminati thinking, indeed, with the world as a grand chessboard and the division of the world into two powers, as we have seen in the Cold War. This would continue, but with Russia divided between NATO and China, and the ongoing Cold War scenario being between NATO and the People's Republic of China, which is exactly what the network, i.e., Masonic intelligence, coordinated by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks and the overarching Gentile controlling faction of British intelligence, wish to achieve, and thereby have a perpetual state of conflict, though I doubt much actual physical war would go on the ground, apart from in third world nations where proxies would be used and occasional NATO and Chinese Communist peacekeeping forces would operate. Indeed, the majority of the activity in a conflict would between NATO and China would be a hybrid conflict, whereby cyber attacks would be common, but the majority of the conflict would be carried out by intelligence operatives of their respective nations. Indeed, the mass migration into the Western societies serves a part of this agenda in some way by creating a dialectic within the NATO nations themselves, whereby the intelligence operatives of the Masonic networks and the Illuminati networks, which are indistinct from one another in the upper echelons, can maintain their power and cause chaos of the mind of the populace, whereby they are unable to think without the guiding hand of the state telling them what to think. Indeed, this seems to be the state of affairs that is occurring at the moment. Indeed, the Western propaganda machine is attempting to incite Russophobia and build up a state of engagement with the Russian Federation, and are touting a lie that the Russian Federation and China are in alignment, when the Chinese Communist Party is waiting for a conflagration between the NATO countries and the Russian Federation, so that the Chinese Communist Party can seize the majority of Russian territory east of the Ural Mountains. Indeed, as I have stated, the Russian Federation is not as powerful as the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst operatives have always made it out to be. Indeed, this, as I've stated before, was a lie by operatives of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst wishing to embed themselves within Anglo-American intelligence, and was all part of a pan-German thousand-year Reich agenda, which links itself to the Rosicrucian vision of the 16th century, which was manifest in the operations of British intelligence and their emphasis on the creation of a power complex in the New World, which has led to the military-industrial intelligence corporate complex of the current United States, which is the military enforcement arm of the British and German Rosicrucian Druid networks that link up to the networks known as the Illuminati. Indeed, the Illuminati networks position Frankists and Hebraists and people of Hebraic heritage in all the positions of power within networks, indeed, including Scottish Rite networks and intelligence agency networks and corporate networks, so as to give the illusion that this is a Hebraic conspiracy, when the forces at work merely use the Hebraic population as fall guys for their own strategic endeavors. And this positioning of these Frankist and Hebraic figures within the forefront of organizations serves a purpose whereby the real ruling powers can scapegoat these people and all people of Hebraic faith and the State of Israel to basically cover up for their own criminal operations and to keep their intelligence networks safe from the eyes of researchers and conspiratologists. Indeed, this is an ongoing intelligence war. And as I've stated, organized crime is completely run by intelligence agencies. It is not distinct from it. Indeed, the Italian and Sicilian mafias were basically consolidated by Mazzini, who was very close to Albert Pike, who constructed the blueprint for the Three World War scenario, which would result in the New World Order construct, which had been the dream of the Masonic Rosicrucian Illuminati intelligence networks since the 1700s, and even before that, probably another 300 years before that, which in fact brings us back to the Templars, who had a similar vision. And many of these networks are of the Templar continuum. And how does this link to the Vatican? Well, these networks have infiltrated and taken over the Vatican and are busy replacing the elite of the Vatican with their own people, which has been an ongoing feud since the 1300s. And we are reaching the time whereby these Masonic Rosicrucian Illuminati networks will have complete control over the Vatican and thereby will be able to influence the Roman Catholic population of various nations and bring about their wishes of a New World Order scenario whereby the world is divided into two opposing power blocks, NATO and the People's Republic of China, which will constantly exist in a hybrid conflict, and the population will be herded into a technocratic regime which will be run by a techno-cryptocracy. And perhaps a Blade Runner scenario may emerge, but we shall see. Indeed, the future does not look bright for the population of the Russian Federation. Indeed, they are having their male population culled, supposedly, though I don't know actually how much activity is going on the ground, as many of the wars seem to be staged at the moment, though the statistics of the Russian death toll in the Ukraine war are very high. And I doubt that is being completely hoaxed. It is probably actually higher than the Russian Federation would care to admit, what with the Russian Federation and the former Soviet nomenclatura always concealing the truth to their own people and to Western eyes. So it's impossible to actually gauge what the truth is in these matters. Indeed, I've gone off on a bit of a jaunt this morning, but it is all very interesting. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there.